Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream. It is 2100 hours at local time, 1800 Zulu. Welcome everyone in chat. Very glad to be with you here this evening. And a big announcement from our friends over at Navigraph and the release of annotations for Navigraph charts. I always get amazed when Navigraph releases something new, and I think it's pretty much it, and that they are done, and yet something brand new and exciting comes along to improve our favorite charts program for flight simulation. An explainer video will be coming very soon, but we are going to be taking a look at annotations in Navigraph during our stream today. I am very excited today again to do the second stream celebrating the first year anniversary since the release of the Toliss A320neo, and the guys over at Toliss were again very gracious and very generous, giving again 2 copies during this stream of the A320neo. For those of you who already own this amazing aircraft, will of course have the choice to select something else. Want to welcome all of you guys here. We have with us ORBX Hazem's Gruwana, Gold, Greg, Steph. We have also Gills, Fabian, 5 Mike Alpha, V-Sky Check, welcome aboard. Hello there, Eric Kerberos 001, Hector Bello, welcome aboard, my friend. Renano de Oliveira, Renan de Oliveira. Dougal McTavish, welcome. Glad you could make it. Hello, Stan. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Hello, Ray. Everyone in chat, welcome aboard this flight. Today we have quite a bit to cover because I want to spend a little bit of time during cruise to explain to you about what I know about the Airbus hydraulic system, and why I have made the choice to fail the yellow line today during our flight. So we are going to be having 3 total failures today, including dual engine failure, engine 1 and engine 2 at different times. We are also going to be failing the hydraulic system. So the Airbus is built around redundancy. And today we are going to be failing one of the specifically the yellow line, hydraulic line, because it is the line that also contains the manual pump, which is controlled by ground crew and a lot of other stuff that we'll discuss once we're in cruise. Also, during the stream today, 2 copies of the A320neo will be given away, and as promised during the last stream, we are going to be having another giveaway. It's going to be, though, on Saturday. I do have a few commitments on Thursday, so I'm unable to stream. But on Saturday, we are going to be streaming again, and I am going to be giving away a copy of the Challenger 650, as well as the EKVG 737. And guess what? I decided that I'm going to do a couple of streams. So we are going to do one with the A320neo, so I can maximize the number of copies that that you guys get. But I'm also giving away a copy of the EKVG and the Hot Start Challenger 650 for the community to enjoy. Let's take a quick look on our briefing today. We are at Vagar Airport, Faroe Islands, and the weather conditions in this part of the world is always dreadful. As you can see here, a departure from runway 30, we have 10 knot crosswind and 23 knots headwind, which is very good for our departure. The weather conditions are very bad, and believe me, guys, when I tell you that the takeoffs from this airport is as challenging as coming to land. So very challenging part. If you really want to push your piloting skills to the limit, I recommend that you plan a flight to Vagar Airport in the Faroe Islands. Our flight today is going to be, we're going to travel south of our position, and we are going to be heading to the United Kingdom, specifically to Edinburgh in Scotland. And then from there, we are going to be experiencing all the failures. Our alternative is Manchester, and yeah, we're going to be experiencing a lot of failures today during our flight. You're going to hear a lot of ding-dongs today in the cockpit. If we look at our final cruise altitude is 37,000 feet for the flight today, and we are carrying 186 souls on board this evening. Okay, so before we begin, I'd like to show you the very first part of the Navigraph annotations, which is very, very cool. Now, you'll notice if you update your Navigraph charts that you will have a little icon here. And once you click it, you'll be able to select like the wiggly line, a square, a circle, and you can choose to make it a filled circle or a filled square or unfilled. So if we click here on the color, we're going to select yellow as in the marker, and then here is filled or non-filled. Then it's very, very useful for explainer videos, for example, or if you just want to make notes. So I can very quickly come here now, and I can just put a highlight on the information that we're going to need for the flight. So we're going to need the average wind. We're going to need the ESA deviation, as you can see here. So now very, very easily you can access this information. We're going to need the alternate and final reserve here to calculate the reserve fuel. Here's our altitude. Look at how beautiful this is. We're going to take a look at more features as we go during the stream, but I felt that it would be just really, really nice to show you guys this beforehand. Again, the same thing, we can just select, for example, a green color here and highlight the routes like so. And now you have your entire SimBrief plan. And by the way, you can also write. So if you want to do your fuel calculations, for example, we can select the red color, for example, and come here and start writing here on the actual charts. Very, very cool. So we're going to remove that for now, and we're going to come back and take a look at this a little later during our stream this evening. All right, let's head over to the cockpit, ladies and gents, and let's start setting things up. As you can see, the weather is very, very bad today, and you can see that the seasons, or you can see that all the mountains are covered with ice. This is a new feature in Active Sky XP. There is a feature where you can enable, and it will change the terrain to reflect icing conditions when there is icing available or visible in the METAR. So if it reads that there is icing, it will actually change the atmosphere, and it will also change the terrain around you to reflect that. Very, very cool. Highly recommended. Hey, Victor Garcia. Welcome aboard, my friend. Guy from the Ukraine. By the way, when will the giveaway be hosted? It will be at random time during the stream. Hello there, Carl. Very nice to have you here with us. Hasso Basso, welcome aboard. I'm doing very well, sir. Thank you very much. Synfinatic, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Looking forward to the panel discussion, Synfinatic. You know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get started, folks. All right, so the first thing first is we're going to come and we're going to make sure that the parking brake is set. The engine mode selector is normal. Both engines, 1 and 2 switches are in the off position. Flaps are retracted, and the landing gear is in the down position. Moving up to the overhead panel, we're going to make sure that we have more than 25 volts on battery 1 and battery 2, and we're going to go ahead and start them. Battery 1, battery 2, and external power. All right. Excellent. Lovely sounds with the COSP project add-on. All right, ground crew, the cruise supply, oxygen supply is on. Ground control is on, which controls the data recorder while the aircraft is stationary here at the gate. Moving up here, everything here looks good. And moving up here, we're going to set the ADDONS nav and IRS-2 to nav and the IRS-3 to nav. Excellent. All right, we're going to go ahead and perform the engine fire test, the APU fire test, and the engine 2 fire test. Moving down here, we're going to turn on the strobe switch to auto, nav lights on. We're going to arm the emergency lights, non-smoking lights to auto, and we'll leave the seatbelt signs until we have boarded or refueled the aircraft. We're going to turn on the pumps. All right, here are the pumps, and we're going to take a note of a few things just as preparation for our flight today. We're going to notice here the yellow hydraulic, the blue hydraulic, and the green. A couple of things also to note. There is a PTU. The PTU is the power transfer unit, which basically transfers the power between the yellow and the blue lines should any one of these fail. It does not transfer the fluid, which is very important to understand, but it only transfers the power between the two should any one of them fail. So if the yellow fails, it will transfer the power to the blue, to the yellow from blue to the yellow. And then you have the green here. There is something a little bit unique also in the Airbus, and you will see it in a lot of the modern aircraft, which is the RAT. You can see here, this is the RAT switch. RAT stands for Ram Air Turbine. What this does, it's a little fan underneath the aircraft that deploys automatically in the real aircraft when there is dual engine failure. Now, you can turn this on your own, but we are not going to do that, obviously. We want to actually see if the dual engine failure that we're going to trigger today will actually activate the RAT. So we're going to take a look at that as well during the flight. Okay, so everything here looks good. A quick scan here, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and bring up the lights here so we can see. Things are kind of dark here, so let's bring the upper ECAM lights, lower ECAM lights, and both McDo's as well. Perfect. And lights on the first officer's side as well. Excellent. Perfect. What if they all fail? I think we are going to see today what's going to happen when the aircraft actually has dual engine failure and what actually happens. And I was actually blown away at how accurate everything is simulated in the Toliss A320. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Okay. So we're going to do a quick check here on the switching. We're going to make sure that all these switches are in the normal position. And then we're going to go here and we're going to click here on hydraulic. Now you'll see that none of the hydraulic systems are currently pressurized. And you can see here there is the electrical pump. Okay, so the electrical pump can either be handled by the ground crew or there is a switch for it as well. Which we can, the cargo, by the way, cargo door, let's see, the right aft cargo door is controlled on the yellow hydraulic. Okay, so if we come here, also what we want to check is we want to check the status, and as you can see now it says normal, so all aircraft systems are normal, and once it displays the status, it brings you back to the door page. Okay. Looking here at the radios, everything is looking good. And moving down here, we have the weather system is turned off. The TCAS is on standby and on auto. Currently, it's on the end position. Of course, before takeoff, we should switch the transponder to above because you want all the traffic that is above you. And once we are at our cruise altitude, we'll switch this to below because you want the traffic below you. So that's what this function does. Okay, so everything is good here, and we're going to come now to the McDo. So let me bring this up here on the screen. And Walken 1993, welcome aboard, my friend. Addict to Flight, welcome aboard, my friend. Okay. So let's go ahead and set the aircraft here. First, we're going to again follow the proper airline procedure for the McDo setup, which is diff strip. That's data, init alpha, flight plan, radio, beg your pardon, after init is the secondary plan, radio, init bravo, and then performance. So the data here, everything looks good. The nav database is current. We're going to go to init alpha, and we're going to request the flight plan. We're going to bring up Navigraph charts, and we'll just make it a little bit smaller here so you guys can follow along. And we'll bring this guy. All right, perfect. So we have all the information here. Flight number today, Air Atlantic 414, real world flight to Edinburgh. Cruise altitude is 37,000 feet. We're just verifying that everything is per our flight plan. Perfect. Next, we can go, so this is in its alpha. Then we can go to the flight plan, and from the flight plan, we're going to select Vagar Airport. The departure today is through runway 30, and the departure, or the SID, is My to Papa, which is this one here. We're going to insert that, and then it's going to give us like a bunch of waypoints. It's a very you'll see that it's a very unique looking departure out of Vagar. Okay, then we are going to select Edinburgh, and we're going to select the arrival. The arrival today is the ILS runway 24 through the path 1 Gulf arrival. That's the path 1 Gulf. And we are going to do the TLA transition. Now, the TLA transition is actually a DME arc. Let me show you very quickly. If we go to, there we go, NDB ILS, you can see it's a DME runway. So we're going to click here, so just you guys can see it. And if we select the Tango Lima Alpha transition here, is the transition into the TME arc for the runway. Now, this is going to prove very useful for our flight today. And let's go ahead and select that. So we're going to select TLA and insert. All right, perfect. Let's take a quick look at our flight plan. So if we look here, let me bring this up again so you guys can follow along. And if we cycle through, you can see this is the top of descent. And then let me reduce that way you can see it better. All right, so 40, yeah, 40 is good. And here is the DME arc. Okay, that's TLA, and that's the DME arc. So what we can actually do is we can come and remove this discontinuity here. Let me remove this. All right, and insert. And now you'll be able to see it a little better. There we go. Let me do 20. No, actually 80. All right. I think now you can see it much better. You can see here, this is the DME arc right there from TLA and how the curve is into Edinburgh. Okay, perfect. So we are done with that. Let's put this back on arc, and we can put this away. And we're going to come here to continue in its B, or actually we can go to the progress page. And just in case we need to come back to Vagar Airport, we are going to type in, let's see. Okay, so we are going to return to Echo Kilo Vector Golf and runway 30, just in case. So we have it there. We're going to go to the secondary flight plan and just copy the active flight plan. Let's go to init B, and here we can see the block fuel, the zero fuel weight, everything's been calculated time and negative, so something is off there. And let's go to performance. So from the performance page, again, we can just use the SimBrief data. So we'll just request the takeoff data there from SimBrief. Right, perfect. Boeing Corp Mike from Logan, New Jersey. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Many bus jets have them as well. Chris. Hello, Chris. Welcome aboard. Hello there, Oscar. EDIC 2 Flight Simulations. Welcome aboard. Says, and you have then electric yellow pump. Yep, Hello, William. All right, so we have received the data. We're going to do, there we go. Flex temperature is 59, flaps 2, very short runway. Trim is 0.4 up, and everything is good here. We have iris alignment as well. Okay, so what we'll do now is we are going to come here and start the APU. The passengers are freezing in the back, so let's turn on the APU and warm up the cabin a little bit. APU door is open, so start. Excellent. And we can also turn on the seatbelt signs on now that the aircraft is refueled. While the APU is coming up, we can consult the weather. And so we are going to click here on the weather, and the altimeter is currently 1004. There we go. And we'll do it on the first officer's side as well. All right, here we go. 1004. Brilliant. All set. Excellent. All right, so setting up the glare shield, we're going to make sure that the constraints is selected. We're going to set our altitude to 37,000 feet, which is our cruise altitude today. All right, that's 37,000, and we're going to put the constraints on the first officer's side as well. Let's start the clock here. There we go. Clocks are set, and everything is looking in tip-top shape. Perfect. All right. So one thing I'd like to show you guys here is you can actually use annotations on the charts as well. So if we go to the charts and we select runway 30, which is our departure runway today. So if I click on the chart itself, now I can actually go to the annotation and I can start writing. So we're going to select this. We're going to make this maybe a little a bigger line here, so I can type this to show the direction. I can write an ILS or the frequency, like 1 to 8, for example. I can use arrows like that to explain things. You can do all sorts of things. You can, for example, just kind of put a circle there to note the platform altitude. All sorts of things. It's just really brilliant tool. I really like that. And we can also make this, for example, if you want to, for example, you can put like a square around this here, just to kind of highlight things for yourself and make it easier. And it is also a very great tool for streamers who are trying to explain something, or for somebody who's trying to explain charts. The new feature, the new annotations feature in Navigraph charts is simply brilliant. If you want to know more about this feature, a video is coming very soon on the channel, but you can also click on the pinned comment in chat and check it out. I'm delighted Navigraph have done this. Very helpful for ground charts. Absolutely, Dougal. Absolutely. All right. So we are done here. So we're going to put that there. We have everything here ready. Let's take a look. All right. APU bleed coming on. And we can remove external power. Turn on our beacon lights in preparation for push and start. In fact, we're not going to push today. If you look here, we can just actually turn and go to the runway, which is the far end right there. So we are good there. Excellent. So let's go and ask the ground control to remove the chocks. Let's go to the mechanics. Chocks are removed. External power is removed. Excellent. All is good here. And we're going to set... All right, we are ready to start our engines, ladies and gents. And just one thing, the oxygen is, again, just there's a mask that goes on. So everything is set here. Okay. Perfect. We are good to go. Let's go ahead and start the engine number 2. Engine mode selector to start, and engine number 2 is coming up. All right. Just look at those engines, guys. Very, very beautiful. Toliss is, in my view, is one of the very best developers for flight sim in general. Their aircraft are very high fidelity, and the depth of system simulation is just outstanding. All right, here we go. Engines are coming up. All right. We have a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. There's one thing I want to show you guys, if we can see. All right. So now you can see the hydraulic system, and now you can see the PTU is in orange. So the PTU is automatic. If one of these fail, you'll see that this will turn green automatically, and this is exactly as per the real aircraft. We'll talk a little bit about that. Again, you can see RAT here, the ram air turbine, which is connected to the blue, which will supply very limited electrical power in case of a dual engine failure. All right, so again, you can see all the redundancy there. Let's go and start engine number 1. There we go, engine number 1. And now, as soon as we start engine number 1, you can see the green line pressurizing. You see that? Now that is pretty cool. And normally, you know, as casual simmers, we don't really pay too much attention to what's happening in the aircraft systems. What's happening really in the air behind the scenes, if you will, in the aircraft. So everything is simulated exactly as it is, and you can see now the PTU has turned green, and everything is, you can see here, this is PTU, and this is your RAM or RAT, the ram air turbine switch. We're not gonna fiddle around with it. We'll leave it, and it should just work on its own once we have the dual engine failure simulated. Okay. So now we have both engines working. Engine is available. We are good there. We're going to turn off the APU bleed. APU master is off. Engine mode selector to normal. We are doing flaps 2, very short runway. So flaps 2 for the departure. Speed brakes are armed. The trim is 0.4 up. So that's about right there. And the auto brake to maximum. And we are pretty much good to go, folks. All right. We are going to select status here. And again, as you can see, everything is good. We can now see the wheels, pressure, everything is looking good. And we can now release the parking brake and head over to the runway. Let's turn on the taxi light, nose light to taxi. And we are good to go. Right, parking brake is released, and let's actually turn on the weather system. There we go. And we'll put the terrain on the first officer's side. There we go. You can see the weather is pretty bad. I can barely see, so let me just turn on the wiper here. Those engine sounds are just amazing. About 30 minutes for all the preps. We are on time for our departure. Lovely aircraft, the Airbus A320neo. Have you got a sound pack or default? That's a sound pack, the COSP sound pack. I got an email from Wing yesterday announcing their full-size Airbus FCU for $100. Yeah, I've seen that. Let's turn on our lights. Nose light to takeoff, runway, strobe lights. And we're just going to travel to the far end of the runway. We're going to set the TCAS to TARA and above. Right. There we go. And we're going to start the clock. Right, cabin crew, seats for takeoff, please. Right, takeoff test. All right, now this is something I was expecting. It wants us to delay the takeoff because of the cold oil temperature. Considering the weather here at this airport, this is something to be expected. So I'm not surprised that we have received this message. There you can see that the engine temperature is very, very low. All right. All right, here we go. That's okay. We'll just give it some power before takeoff and just make sure that we have the right temperature there. Almost the same sound as the Vulcan. Yeah, it's got a really nice hull to it. Right, here's the runway is 30. Let's make the turn and line up the aircraft. Alrighty. We are at runway 30. We are cleared for takeoff, but what we're going to do is I'm going to hold the toe brakes a little bit here, and we just want to make sure that the temps are good for takeoff, so we're just going to give it a little power here. All right, we just want to increase the temperature before we are good to go. Shouldn't take very long. Thank you very much. Hello, Ivan. Welcome aboard, my friend. All right, we are good to go. Cabin is ready, and there are no warnings there. We are cleared for takeoff. 50% and 1. Engines are stable. Manflex, SRS, and runway. A little bit of pressure on the stick there. Release the pressure. And we wait for V1. V1. Rotate. Positive rear climb. Gears going up. Flyby. Right, we are looking good. let's set the thrust. Thrust climb is set. Let's go to flaps 1 and disarm the speed brakes. Alright, now that we've cleared the mountains, let's go ahead and turn on autopilot 1 is engaged. Right, and speed check, flaps up. Brilliant. Santa, please give me an A320. I have been a good boy. Hello there, Rito. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us this evening. The sounds are phenomenal, I have to say. We are, by the way, today flying with Active Sky, so the weather generation is by Active Sky. Something different from our previous stream. Right. All aircraft systems are normal. We are looking good. 5 minutes since our lineup there on the runway. We continue to climb. We're going to set the range now to 80 nautical miles. And very dreadful weather here as we depart. Probably not a bad idea to turn on the wing and engine anti-ice as we go through the clouds. Right, looking good. You can see the weather map here. You can see we have just really terrible weather. According to the weather radar. Alright, Barrow is set to standard on both sides. And we continue the climb through our cruise altitude of 37,000 feet. Right, looking good. We are above the clouds, finally. Right, 9,000. We can turn off the engine anti-ice and turn off the landing lights, nose light, runway lights, and we can also release the passengers. Excellent. Or to 10,000. And we are going to come to the McDo. Let's put this on. All right. So we're going to come here to the init page. We're going to change the cost index to 0. Right, and this is done to save on fuel. And we are also going to go to the progress page, and now we are going to change this to our destination Echo Golf Papa Hotel, runway 24. And that is now set. We can see the distance to Edinburgh is 385 nautical miles. Okay, perfect. We'll put this back. And the aircraft is, we can actually see here that we are flying the SID still. There we go. I'll leave it on the 40 now so we can just observe the departure. Look at this sight. That looks really, really good. Hello there, Eamon. How are you doing, my friend? Mark Edwards, welcome aboard. Do you always change the cost index? Yes, according to the airline procedure. So some airlines change it. They don't change it to 0. They change it to something else. But the cost index does not remain unchanged throughout the flight. That's very unusual if it doesn't change. Bot Brick, welcome aboard. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, the clouds look very, very nice, I have to say. Hello there, Darius. Welcome aboard. Hello, my friend from Russia. Welcome aboard. QA, what rudder pedals do you use? I use the TPR by Thrustmaster. Are you using Visual XP? No, sir. The sound pack is the COSP sound pack. Yeah, the PW engines are quite nice. All right, we are now at 17,000 feet, about 20,000 feet for our final cruise altitude. And it's a good idea to start explaining what we are going to be doing today for this flight. So first, let me just put it on a, let's see here. Let me just put it like nice cockpit view there while we talk things out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we need to understand, if I bring this up, and let me, just one sec here, guys. Let me put this on the hydraulic. All right, so we do have the hydraulic now. All right, so I think this is a nice view there. Okay, so these are the three hydraulic lines, the yellow, blue, and green in the Airbus aircraft. And very quickly, there is a lot of redundancy built in those lines in order to ensure the dependability of the aircraft in case of system failure. So, for example, you'll see that the yellow line supports flaps, and by the way, all of these have a priority valve, and they also have an accumulator. Down here you see this, there are accumulators down here, and there are the priority valves up there. So the yellow line, for example, has the alternate brake, the reverse engine 2, yaw damper, rudder, stabilizer, the right elevator, the left and right spoiler for engine 2, or the engine 2 wing, the wing side of engine 2, and then the right spoiler and the left flap and spoiler. The blue line has the emergency generator, the slats, rudder, and the flaps, elevator, spoiler, and ailerons. And it's also, all of these are equipped with a leak measurement valve. So if there is a leak in your hydraulic, you will see the pressure going down, and you'll get a notification here in the ECAM message saying that you are losing hydraulic pressure. Whereas the green line has the landing gear, flaps and slats. Again, you can see the redundancy, how the flaps and slats are redundant among all three lines. And then it also has the reverse for engine number 1, the normal brakes. So if you recall, we have the alternate brake on the yellow line, and we have the normal brakes on the green line. And the reason for this is, if you, for example, have a failure on the green line hydraulic, you always have the alternate or emergency brake operating on the yellow, and vice versa. So you always have a redundancy in the aircraft systems to ensure reliability. Other things also including the yaw damper, rudder, stabilizer, the left elevator, spoilers, flaps, again, are on the green line. So just by, just by comparing what systems are connected to which hydraulic line, you can see how much redundancy is there. And now you can see that all the systems here are operational. Now, here's what we're going to be doing today in our flight. We are going to be failing the hydraulic system. We are going to be failing engine number 1. And just right before our final approach into Edinburgh, we are going to fail engine number 2. We are going to be simulating not just a failure, but a fire where the engines are completely shut down. And we are going to experience what is going to happen. Now, with one engine operation, we expect the aircraft to fly normally. We don't expect any issues. We do need to plan. There will be some systems that will become inop but the Airbus is more than capable of single engine operations. So what is going to happen though with the loss of engine number 2, the first thing we expect is, I know this is probably very loud, but somewhere down here on the side you will notice the rats being deployed. That's at least something that should happen in real life, that the ram air turbine should be deployed, because with complete loss of both engines you don't have electrical power. And so this rat, or the ram air turbine, is a little fan that runs, and the faster the aircraft is going, the faster this ram will turn, and it will generate limited electrical supply to control the aircraft during this really very rare emergency where you will have dual engine failure. So this is what we're going to be doing, and let's do it together. So we're going to come here, we're going to go to the Toliss control panel, and we are going to select the failures. Where is it? Failure scenario. So the first we're going to say add, and we're going to select hydraulic, and we're going to select the yellow hydraulic pump fail right here. So you can, by the way, select overheat, you can select a leak, but I want to select a complete failure of the yellow hydraulic pump. Okay? So, and we are going to do it at a specific altitude of, let's say, we're going to do it at 11,000 feet. Okay? And then we are going to select another failure. We're going to go to the engine number 1. Engine number 1 is, no, we're going to select engine number 2 first. And there is a reason for that. So engine number 2 first, and we're going to select fire engine number 2. We're going to select it at about, let's see, about 9,000. Okay, so at 9,000 feet, we are actually, let's make this, we're going to make this at 6,500 feet. We are going to have engine 2 fire. And then we're going to do engine number 1, and we're going to select fire as well. So we're going to lose both engines to fire, and we're going to select this at an altitude of about 652 feet. Now, the reason why this is at 652 feet, because if you do it, for example, at 1,000, I assure you that we will not be able to make it to the airport. Dual engine failure will give you very, very limited time to trying to save the aircraft. So we are going to make it at about 652. I'm actually tempted to make it a little less. So, but yeah, I think 652 is fine. Now we have everything set up here. We're going to say apply now. And now we have all of these failures programmed to take place at 11,000, 6,000 feet, and 600 feet. Washi Extreme. Hello, my friend. Doesn't Atlantic have leaps? I'm not sure. Nice airplane. Well, thank you. Let's thank the guys over at Toliss for making it for us. Hello, Captain Poland. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. All right, so we have all the failures set. We have some basic understanding of the hydraulic system. Again, I am not a real-world Airbus pilot, so this is what I have read through in order to understand what is going to happen when I fail the hydraulics. So what we should expect. Right, we go to the status now, and as you can see, everything is normal, and it automatically takes you to the cruise page, and this is exactly what you expect to see in the real aircraft in real life. We're coming up to the top of climb at 37,000 feet, and we are looking good. Right, here's a look there. I am very excited about FS Expo this year. I really can't wait to meet Stan for the second time. Really looking forward to it, Stan. But I'm also very excited that I'm bringing along my son, who's currently 10. He will turn 11 while we are in the US. I'm heading to the US on the 10th of June, so a little bit of time for us to enjoy some quality daddy-son time together. We're going to be, you know, having fun in California before heading to Vegas. We're going to be touring a bit of the nearby states during our stay. So I'm very, very excited. He's very excited. So I'm excited for his excitement. So yeah, it's going to be great. I did make a short trip with my son to Doha, Qatar, a few months back, and we thoroughly enjoyed just having, you know, a boys' time together. So again, guys, if you have kids, I highly recommend that you spend time with them, spend some quality time with them, and build memories with them. They grow so fast. All right, so we are standing at 49 likes, guys. I would be very grateful if we can bump the likes to about 130 in the next minute or so, and maybe I'll just add another giveaway if we can get there. All right, Ron Anderson, welcome aboard. I met you last year in Expo Houston. See you again this year. Meeting your son is great. Thank you very much, Ron. Appreciate it, my friend. It's going to be great meeting all of you guys again. It's going to be real fun. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, back in the cockpit, things are looking good. And here's top of climb right there. And we can also come here to the MCDU. If we look here, 22 nautical miles for top of descent. We can come to the flight plan. Actually, we can do it a little later. Just leave it for now. So, yeah. So, exciting things coming with the announcement of X-Plane 12.1.0. We've got the A380 sneak peek from Fly-by-Wire for MSFS. We have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 coming out this year as well as the PMDG 777, the Flight Factor 777. Now, what do you guys think? Which one is going to launch first? The Flight Factor 777 or the PMDG 777? Looking forward for the PMDG 777. Thank you very much, Stan. PMDG, Flight Factor, PMDG. Probably the PMDG. Really, you guys think it's closer to release, huh? But I would prefer to see the Flight Factor 777. I'll tell you guys, PMDG is known for their quality, okay? But I will be very honest with you guys. I am a little bit more excited for the Flight Factor version, simply because I know Ramses, the developer, is a type-rated 777 pilot. So I'm just really itching to see, you know, what's that going to bring to us flight simmers. So I'm quite excited about both of them, of course. The 777 happens to be my favorite aircraft. The ER version is my favorite aircraft in real life. So DT2907 QA no something. What's that? PMDG. It looks like the majority of you guys think that the PMDG 777 will release first. Oh, they aren't final. I see. Okay. So they're still working on it. Gotcha. All right. We are at cruise, almost at cruise altitude. A good time to run the first giveaway, guys. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to head over to Nightbot, and I'm going to select giveaway. Now, the only thing you need to do is to have been active for the last 5 minutes. If you haven't been active for the last 5 minutes, just say, hello Q8, and you'll be eligible to enter into the giveaway. And we'll just roll the first one now. We'll do the second one a little later. I can already see that a number of you are coming into the eligibility screen here on Nightbot. I will give it a little bit of time. In the meantime, let's do a quick cinematic flyby. Just gorgeous. All right, we have currently 66 eligible users for the giveaway, and we are going to roll the giveaway in 3, 2, 1, roll it. And Goal is the winner. The first winner. Goal, are you still here with us in chat? Goal, that is Goaal. Goal has won the first copy of the Toliss A320. Hey, Goal is here. Goal, all I need from you, my friend, is to send an email to info@q8pilot.com with the email address associated with your Explain.org account. And I need you to take a screenshot of your YouTube profile page while you are logged in so that I can verify that you are indeed the winner. Excellent Goal. Congratulations, and good luck to the rest of you on the second giveaway roll a little later during the stream. Good stuff. Excellent. Excellent. Congratulations again to Goal on winning the first copy. Again, guys, mark your calendars, because next Saturday we're going to have a massive giveaway here on the channel with the XEG and the Challenger. I will more than likely fly the Challenger for that stream. I think we haven't done the Challenger in quite some time, so we are going to be flying the Challenger. I am contemplating a route from Montreal in Canada to Boston Logan in the United States. Nothing's final yet, though, but those are the intentions. Okay. Now that we have one of you guys, we are 196 nautical miles from top of descent. Victor Garcia, hello, my friend. Welcome. Hello there, Stuart. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. By the way, the Toliss has a really nice cabin as well. So if we come here and open the door and just go to... Oop. What am I doing? All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so it's got a pretty decent cabin here as well. Yeah. All one class configuration. Looks like this is all economy, but I think it looks pretty decent. Yeah. There we go. Door is closed. And by the way, those circuit breakers are modeled, yeah? So you can see it here. All the circuit breakers are modeled on the Toliss A320. There you go. Well, not all of them, I think, but most of them. Yeah, I think most of them are modeled. Some are not. There we go. And you've got them here as well. So you can, again, simulate different failures here if that's what you choose to do. All right. Let's set up for our approach. We're going to be very, very busy when we approach Edinburgh. So you are correct, Stan. We'll probably do it after landing. Hello, Hussein. How are you doing, my friend? Lightspeed, welcome aboard. When did this plane get... Sorry, get what? 135 watching, but only 75 likes. Can we do better, guys? Thank you again, Dougal. Appreciate it. Mighty Hood, hello, my friend Q8. What do you think is better, Toliss or Phoenix? So I think I've answered that question. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, from the visual perspective, the Phoenix wins hands down. In terms of the system simulation, I think both aircraft are very in-depth in terms of the system simulation. In terms, so I think they are at par. So I think the Phoenix version wins from the visual perspective. From the systems perspective, I think they are at par, though the failure system in Toliss gets the upper hand, I think. So it's got more simulation of failures. So if you go to the control panel here of the Toliss, then it's got, you know, a lot. You can add new failures here. Just look at all sorts of failures that you can add, and for every part. So if you like this one, you can also select, you know, let's say for example bleed. You can select what do you want: a leak, you want a failure, you want fire. You know, you can select whatever you want. So I think in terms of the scenario failures, the Toliss has the upper hand without a doubt. Now, when it comes to the sounds, the Phoenix, out of the box, the Phoenix has better sounds than the Toliss. Whereas if I look at the flight dynamics, I believe that the Toliss has the upper hand again in terms of the flight dynamics. So in different departments, both of these aircraft excel in their own way. They both have their strengths and they have also areas of improvement in my view. But overall, they are both very enjoyable as far as, you know, the feel of the aircraft and, you know, just when you come into land the Toliss, it feels more natural. And again, a lot of real-world pilots have attested to this, that it does feel a lot more natural when flying the Toliss as opposed to flying the Phoenix. Yeah, the Phoenix has better sounds, it has better visuals out of the box. I do like the Toliss, this Toliss with the COSP sound pack. It definitely takes it to the next level. But out of the box, if I were to compare both aircraft, the plain vanilla Phoenix and versus Toliss, definitely the sounds on the Phoenix is much better. And I have to also say that the electronic flight bag in the Phoenix is far more advanced than the one that Toliss offers. While both offer integration with SimBrief and Navigraph charts through Avitab, I feel that Phoenix's electronic flight bag is probably by far the best electronic flight bag implementation I have seen in flight sim. It's very good. So the FEW is definitely good, without a doubt. It's just that I feel that Toliss, in terms of the simulation, the depth of system simulation, the failures, is far more advanced than the fly-by-wire version. All right, let's take a quick look here at the destination 154. All right, we can't actually come here to PMOS. We are going on. Let's press return. Let's go there. We'll select the fix. We are going to select Echo Golf Papa Hotel and runway 24. This is again a DME arc arrival. The radial is, I believe, 240. So if we look here, we're going to go to flights. We're going to select Edinburgh. The approach, runway 24, NDB ILS DME runway 24. You can see there the DME arc. And 240 approach course, indeed. So we're going to put a radial of 240 degrees with a 10 nautical mile radius. 10 nautical miles. There we go. Excellent. And we are good here. So now we have the, again, this is done for situational awareness. And by the way, we should come to the TCAS and put this below now that we are at 37,000 feet. Okay, so everything here is looking good. 144. And the platform altitude is going to be 3,000 feet. Okay, cool. 3,000 feet, we're looking good. All aircraft systems are normal. And if we look here at the hydraulics, everything is operational per design intent. Status normal, perfect. Okay, cool. Well, we're enjoying a little bit of clear weather here before we arrive into Edinburgh. We are going to take a look at the weather in just a little bit. Hey, Q8, how are you? I'm very good. How are you? Hello there, Grant Redmond. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us this evening. So one of the things that you will see on the channel very soon is very short videos, no more than 5 minutes in length, to explain various aircraft systems, whether it's a hydraulic system of an Airbus or FMC in Boeing, and I'm going to attempt to make those more informative short videos moving forward. Personally, I think that gaining knowledge about the various aircraft parts and how the aircraft systems operate, I think gives a lot of perspective for those of us who are interested in in-depth system simulation and in-depth flying experience in the sim. So that is something I plan on bringing on the channel. It's going to be something very new that I do, so I'm still not very sure about the format. But I am actually heeding the advice of a lot of the guys that stopped by my booth at FS Expo 23. And they said, Q8, we'd really love for you to make shorter videos and just explain things about, you know, the aircraft systems, hydraulics, for example, landing gear. And maybe once we do an explainer, then I will do a follow-up video to actually simulate whatever we have spoken about in the explainer video and try to emulate that in the sim. So that is something that I've been working on in the background, just not really sure what is the best format for that yet. And to make it 5 minutes or less is quite a challenge, but sometimes it's very difficult to explain a concept in less than 5 minutes. So it goes longer, but I really want to make sure that it's not a boring thing, because the last thing you want is just a 1 hour video talking about hydraulics. Without seeing anything, so yeah, I think after 9 years of creating content, I understand this community very well. So that's something I'm really working on. Q8, I have a very rare bug. Whenever I run X-Plane, it automatically loads the last flight. Have you ever experienced the same issue? Huh, that's really strange. So you're not getting the main menu, Diego? Because normally from the main menu, you can select either new flight or resume last flight. I think there is an option for that from the settings. But what I would recommend, Diego, is if you go to the output folder, there is a settings file there. Just delete that file. You might need to do the binding. No, not the binding. You need to set the graphic settings again and some other settings. Your bindings should be there because it's in a different file. But I would recommend that you delete the settings file and see if that helps you. I cannot see the menu. Really? Huh. Never saw a boring video from you, Q8. Well, thank you very much, John. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Thank you, sir. appreciate that. Very, very humble. Just before you do the reinstall, Diego, I would just delete the settings file, run Explain, just knowing the caveat there is that you will lose your, what do you call it? You'll lose your in-game settings, like the graphics. So delete the settings file, then run the installer. Make sure that you have the latest installer from Explain, run it. It will automatically create that file for you. So if it's something in the settings file, it should fix it for you. Give that a try before you do an uninstall, and then reinstall, because that's a lengthier process. So yeah, 780 failures. There you go. That's a lot of failures. Maybe also deleting the situation may help. Yeah, Victor, that's a good suggestion. Yeah. My hunch is if you delete those two files, you'll be fine. All right, so things are very uneventful at this point in time. We are going to be descending shortly, as you can see here, 104 nautical miles. So let's go ahead and set things up for our arrival. I can hear the cabin crew there passing on and serving food. Let's see here. We want to go to the next phase, approach phase. Okay, brilliant. And we're going to come to the excellent Navigraph charts, which now has annotations. I just really am liking those annotations. I think it's going to be really fun doing explainer videos with charts and things like that with the annotations. So quite excited about this new feature. All right, Edinburgh. The weather at Edinburgh is 260 degrees, 5 knot wind, cloud and visibility okay, 8 Celsius, QNH 1014. Visibility is great, so we're expecting clear skies, which is cool considering the circumstances that we have planned for this flight. So we are going to set the QNH to 1014, QNH, the temperature is 8 degrees Celsius, dew point is 4, and the wind's 265. Brilliant. And if we look here, the baro is 100. And we are good to go. All right, everything is set. And we'll put this back on plan. We'll put this one back on perf. 93 nautical miles. We are going to set this to 3,000 feet. All right, we'll leave it there. Excellent. The contrails in Explain are so well done. Even the condensation, like the engine condensation, the wing condensation, so those are things that I expect to see when flying in a sim. It's just very immersive and very true to life. I think Parallel 42 is working on something for that, the immersion for the different aircraft. So similar to what they've had for P3D and FSX. But in Explain, it is actually built in the sim, and provided you have the right conditions, you'll see the wing condensation, the engine condensation, which is just great. Guy from Ukraine. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. You have missed the first giveaway and the takeoff. That's for sure. All right. Looking down here, everything is looking cool. How about we bring in some talk to the control panel? Obviously, it is out of range. We have Europe. Nearest facility is Scottish Control. Yeah, let's select that. There we go. Increase the level of immersion with ATC chatter in the background, provided by XATC chatter. Very nice program. I think it's very, very immersive. The company or the developer is Stick and Rudder Studios. The developer, Mark, is really a great guy. We had a drink together at FS Expo, and he told me all about the X camera project and what they've been doing at Stick and Rudder Studio. Interestingly enough, X camera, the features that you see today, a lot of the features that you see in X camera were actually requests made by my very dear friend Thomas Rasmussen. Thomas, for those of you who do not know who Thomas is, Thomas still is, one of the leaders, I would say, the inspirations in the flight sim community. He used to make the absolute best cinematics. Thomas used to be able to take any scenery, any aircraft, and make it look like it's wow. Even if it's not that good. The guy was so skilled, and in making cinematic footage with his brilliant editing capabilities, he would make any plane look just incredible, and sceneries as well. He's made a lot of tutorials as well. He was a very dear friend of mine. He still is, and he was an inspiration. And so Mark was actually telling me that when he started with X-Plane, it was a very basic camera system for X-Plane 9, I think it started. And Thomas was actually asking me, hey, can you add this feature so I can do this? Can you add this feature so I can do that? And Mark used to go and program these features that Thomas wanted to create those really cool cinematics that we used to see. And that's how X camera actually evolved over time. If you are wondering what happened to Thomas, Thomas has decided to create a YouTube channel with his family, his wife, and 2 daughters, and they are running a children's gaming channel now, where they are all involved as a family, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Thomas, and he's a beautiful human being, and I hope that I can bring him one day on one of the streams to talk to the community. Never try that. X-Chatter always crash my sim. Really? Huh, strange. Yeah, I would say speak to Mark. They have a forum. Mark is very active. So, speak to him. Well, things are still looking good. One thing I want to do is I want to, let's see here. I think I did not bring the SimBrief plan here, so let's just load the SimBrief plan real quick. There we go. That just gives you more accurate weather, and it will say add top of climb, 10% waypoints to the flight plan, include surface layers in average briefing calculations. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Active Sky. Right. Hello, Gaber. Welcome aboard, my friend. That's great to hear. I always used to watch his channel. Yeah, he's great. Thomas is just great. I'll try to speak him to. I'll try speaking to him, and I'll try to convince him to come to one of the streams here and say hello to all of you guys. One more giveaway soon. Absolutely. 51 nautical miles to top of descent. Very soon. We are in for some excitement, guys. Engine failure, hydraulic failure, a second engine failure. So, yeah, we're in for some dramatic turn of events here as we arrive into Edinburgh in the Greater United Kingdom. Should be fun. Hello, Captain USA, A320, welcome. Glad to have you here with us. Did you see the announcement from Wing of the Airbus FCU? Yes, I have seen that. Which I think will be in real size. Ooh, wow. I want to win. Well, good luck to you. Diego, 7th giveaway for me. Never won. Maybe today is the day. Well, Diego, I definitely wish you all the best, my friend. You know, sometimes I wonder in the back of my head, you know, if I would be very satisfied if I could give every subscriber to the channel, every person who supported the channel, something. That would be like the ultimate thing to do for me. Unfortunately, I don't have the means to do that, but that's something I would love to do. So hopefully, I can still continue to provide you with valuable content here on the channel. Did you watch the fly-by-wire A380? Yes, I did, and it looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, I really am waiting for it. All right, guys, here is top of descent. So we are approaching our top of descent in about 34 nautical miles. We have everything set up and ready for our descent. And yeah, all is good. Everything's good here. Weather conditions are good in our favor, so that's cool. I really appreciate more your good quality content. Is that the Toliss the default? No, the Toliss is currently using the Coast Project sound add-on. I'm grateful for the great videos you put out. They have been so helpful. Thank you very much, Steph. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you find the content useful. King David, how are you? This year, 2024, is a lucky year because there are a lot of beautiful planes that will be released. Yep, that is for sure. I think he uses an automatic system to choose someone. Yes, I use Nightbot, guys, which is an automatic selection. Alex Aviation, hi, how are you? I got a question regarding the winner. Is he or she chosen by an AI or by a bot? It is used by Nightbot. So Nightbot has a giveaway feature where I can. It simply sees who's been active in the last 5 minutes for eligibility. There are different ways I can have you guys type something to become eligible, but I like to keep things simple for you. So yeah, Nightbot will simply select randomly one of the eligible users during the live stream. What are the chat commands? The chat commands are available through. I think there is a timer that gives you the chat commands, but you have exclamation scenery, which gives you the sceneries we're using in this live stream. Exclamation aircraft will give you the aircraft. Exclamation route and exclamation specs will give you my specs. A good A380 for any sim is way overdue. I agree. I agree there with you, Mighty Hood, without a doubt. FBW380 is coming. And I really tell you guys, when this aircraft comes out, Dubai International in Microsoft Flight Sim is going to be busy. And I tell you that probably you'll find all the VATSIM guys are, you'll find the tower and the frequencies over at Dubai International fully staffed on both the VATSIM and IVAO networks 24/7. With all the folks just wanting to fly to and from Dubai International with the A380. So we'll see. I hope the failures will not fail. That's a good one. Yeah, hopefully they won't. Did you see the A350 for MSFS? No, Is it the one by Unibuilds? I haven't seen it, no. Have you heard about Peter Hager's new A380 supposed to be coming? And apparently it's actually supposed to be really good, as 9 months was spent on fuel system alone. Hopefully we hear more soon. Oh! Really? No, thank you for sharing this with me, Caleb. I have not heard about Peter Hager. I know Peter Hager created the A380 for X-Plane, but that was not really good at all. And it was like you pay per livery for their A380. So we'll see. There was a freeware A380 coming. I'll try to get some more info. Yeah, there is the A380 for Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm not sure if there is one for X-Plane. Yeah, I might actually fire up MSFS when the A380 comes out. Very cool looking. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Benny, welcome aboard, man. Glad to have you here with us. How are you? All right, we're coming up here to top of descent, folks. 3 nautical miles to top of descent. We're going to begin the arrival into Edinburgh Airport shortly, and we are also expecting a number of failures to trigger during our arrival into our destination. All right, let's go ahead and begin the descent. There we go. Nav descent has been initiated, and the aircraft will now begin the descent. There we go. Excellent. Right, looking good. Let me update this one here. EGPH 24. There we go. We have it set. We're about 100 nautical miles from our destination. Let's put this on perf. There we go. Looking good. And we have now initiated the descent. The action begins. Absolutely. Hope we land safe. I hope so too. I sent info about the A380 to your Discord Flight Sim chat. It's a long email from Peter, but explains quite a bit more about it. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Hello, FB. Welcome aboard, my friend. TW Simulations. Welcome aboard. Now the fun part starts. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have the fun in quick succession. So, guys, today we are not looking for a butter landing. We are not looking for, a smooth G as we come to land. Today we are looking to deal with dual engine failure, hydraulic failure, and landing the aircraft safely at Edinburgh. So that is what we are aiming to do today. So today it's definitely not going to be butter or anything like that. If we make it to Edinburgh and we land the aircraft on the runway, I will be very, very grateful. And we can save the passengers on board, and we walk away from a catastrophic event, which of course we have planned for, which doesn't happen in real life. You don't plan for emergencies like that, but you should be ready to deal with them if they do occur. So the advantage we have today over what real-world pilots experience in real life is that we know that these failures will occur at a certain time, or certain altitude for that matter. So, of course, the option is to set random failures and let the aircraft do its thing. But then for a live stream, we want to keep it controlled to really take a look at the capabilities of the Toliss aircraft. So, again, this is a big, big advantage for what we're trying to simulate, is that we know when these failures are going to happen. And referring to, this is actually what I just said is exactly the basis upon which Captain Sully Sullenberger have relied on in doing or repeating the simulations during the hearing to determine whether he was, you know, a hero or that he was a negligent captain. And so the fact of the matter is that when they did the initial simulations to prove that Captain Sully did not act professionally or did not choose the right or did not make the right decision, the guys who were doing the simulation, they were notified of when to make the turn. So immediately after the engine failures in the simulator, they started making the turn back to the airport. And that is very false, because pilots, in Sully's statement that no pilot has ever trained for dual engine failure, and this was an unprecedented situation that required a thought process that took a little bit of time. And the panel of judges agreed that yes, there is some time involved in the decision making, and they estimated the time to be about 20 seconds. And so from the time they had the second engine failure, that's when then the captains who were in the simulator, they were instructed to wait 20 seconds to account for the decision-making time before they made the turn back. And sure enough, with the 20 seconds, there was just impossible to bring the aircraft back and land. So that proved that Sully has taken the right decision of taking the plane into the Hudson River, and with 0 fatalities, which was unprecedented. Did Toliss make any aircraft for MSFS? I don't think they'll ever go there. All right, we are arriving into our destination. We are at 27,000 feet. We can see a little bit of clouds in the distance here as we arrive. Let's take a quick look at the outside, guys. We are definitely flying over the United Kingdom and heading over to Edinburgh. A nice day here in the United Kingdom. And hopefully we'll be able to bring this to a graceful closure by the end of the stream. We'll see what happens. I remain to be optimistic. We have been flying for 1 hour and 1 minute, so we are a few minutes away now from our destination. The view is, wow, yeah, it is. It is very nice. X-Plane is really becoming really good. Gaber says, is that 70-minute timer a bug next to the ECAS? No. So this one here is different. You're referring to this one, I suppose. Yeah. So this is actually different from the clock that you see here, from this one. So this one will remain to count until 99, and then it resets. So it's very different from this clock here. So this is actually working exactly as it should. It shows the number of minutes. So it is correct. Yeah. Righty. We're looking good. Let's take a quick look at our plan here. Let me bring this up. And we're going to switch this to... let's bring this up here. We can... all right. So I think now you can see the DMER clearly here. You see that? So this is Tango Lima Alpha. This is the 10 nautical mile range that we've created, and this is where we're going to come. There is a restriction of 6,000 feet here, as you can see, with 210 knots. And once we pass this point, we'll begin the descent to 3,000. And here's the DMER. You can see it here clearly as we make the approach into runway 24 at Edinburgh. So things are looking cool. And we can switch this back to arc, and we'll leave it at 40, and we can put these away. Perfect. Q8 Pilot, your videos are always entertaining. Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. How is the heart rate doing? I'm currently flying the Toliss A320 after nearly a year of flying in MSFS. I love it. Totally forgot how great it is. Absolutely, guy from Ukraine. The Toliss A340, real-world Airbus pilots have all unanimously given a quote about the aircraft saying that it is as close as it gets to simulating fly-by-wire. So the fly-by-wire simulation in the Toliss A340 is unprecedented in flight sim. And by the way, I'm not surprised. I mean, the guys behind Toliss are very highly educated guys with PhDs, and so yeah, you'd expect them to bring something of this fidelity. Same thing, by the way, goes for Navigraph. Very well educated founders. So the main developers, the guys who are driving the company forward, are PhD holders. So these are very serious people. And what I love about all of these guys is how humble they are. It's just, I have a lot of respect for education, for educators, and for those who are educated. And when you see somebody at this level of education who's very humble, is something that calls for a lot of respect. So, yeah. The A340 is a little underrated. I know, yeah, I know. It might be a little, not in my book. Again, the only problem I had when it came out, when it first came out, was the texturing wasn't really done very well. But pilot red eye knowledge, yeah, absolutely. I think overall, TFK Linux Gaming, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. I think overall, I have been amazed at what the flight sim community, developer community, has been able to develop for the sim. I mean, look at, for example, High Performance Group with their helicopter, the action pack, and just going and doing missions like fire and rescue and things like that. Just absolutely amazing stuff. If you look at, for example, the guys over at TDS with their GTN 750 Garmin device, incredible level of detail. The Phoenix, the PMDGs of the world, Rotate Sim, FlyJ Sim for X-Plane, just really a number of add-ons. And if you look at where we were 9 years ago when I started flight simming and where we are today, not only has flight simulation improved in the software part of things, but also in terms of the hardware. The flight sim gear that we have today is just incredible. Look at all the stuff from Thrustmaster, from Logitech, or formerly Satec. It's just really, if you look at what we used to have and what we have today, it's just absolutely mind-boggling to see how this hobby has really gone to a different level, and it continues to improve. So, do you guys recommend any aviation museums? Depends where you are, Sane. If you are ever in the UK, I highly recommend that you visit the Brooklyn Museum. It is a very unique museum in the fact that it allows you to interact with the aircraft. You can actually get on board the Concorde. You can get on the Vickers VC6. All the aircraft there they have their doors open where you can go in and enter the cockpit. With the exception of the Concorde, they have glass, protective glass in front of it. But for the most part, all the aircraft there, you can actually go and sit inside, and they have former ATC guys and former pilots sitting there to give you a tour of the aircraft. Highly recommend it. It is in Surrey, in the southern part of the UK. So if you're ever there, I highly recommend that you visit the Brooklyn Museum. Right. We are at 15,000 feet, and if we look here at the Toliss, we're going to expect the first failure at 11,000. So about 2,000 feet from now, we are expecting the first failure. We are getting very close to our destination, as you can see here. This is Edinburgh. There are a few restrictions on the way here at 7,250 knots at Rice, 7,230 knots at Styra, and then it would be our DME arc here, and then finally intercept the final fix there for runway 24 and for the ILS, runway 24. So yeah, let's take a quick look here again at the outside. Look at those beautiful clouds there. Oh, just look at that, guys. That looks sensational. You have got to love X-Plane. All right. I'm soon going to visit the Technology Museum in Speyer, where the Concorde, Russian Concorde in 747, which can... Oh, really? That's very nice. That's very cool. Right. 13,000. What happened? It's 11,000, isn't it? Yeah, it's 11,000. Okay. Well, the first failure is coming up. Right, let's turn on the landing system on. Looking good. Very nice clouds. Thank you very much, Sheep Dub. Thank you. Yeah, fasten your seatbelts, buckle up, hold the armrest, and brace. Hey, Sander, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Oppo. All right, we have the first failure here. And if you look here, it says hydraulic Y, engine 2 pump low PR. It says yellow engine 2 pump off. All right, so what I'm going to do now, you see the master, we're going to cancel the master caution first. And you'll look here that there is an engine 2 pump failure. I'm going to bring the hydraulics here and look at what's happening here now. You can see that there is low pressure, and you can see that the pressure is fluctuating in the yellow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, and now you can see that again, the pressure is still fluctuating. So we have about 2,500, and you see that the PTU is now transferring the power. And what we can do is turn on the electrical pump. And once I turn on the electrical pump, I have the yellow now system here, and we have things working as they should. And we have now the other hydraulic systems and the PTU bringing things to normal operation. And so if we look now down here, we still have... All right. So if I look here at the status... Right? So the only thing is the in-op system is the yellow engine 2 pump. And that's something that is not very life-threatening. So the flight can continue, and the flight engineers would have to check this upon arrival. So right now, there isn't really anything that calls for an immediate landing or anything like that. So we are still good. We are looking good. We are, by the way, below 10,000, so we're going to turn on the landing lights, nose lights, and we're going to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. And we are now... okay, we're going to also... All right, so this is flight attendants, the captain speaking now and telling the flight attendants to prepare the cabin for landing. Does Toliss provide a checklist such failures? Yeah, actually you don't need those from Toliss. There are Airbus will tell the nice thing about Airbus, it will tell you what to do in case of a failure. So right now everything is back to normal. Again, the only thing is we can see in the status page is that the yellow engine 2 pump isn't working. Other than that, all systems are operational and the flight can continue without incident to its destination. All right, let's take a quick look here. Very beautiful sky colors. As we approach Edinburgh. Joshua Gaming 777. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us this evening. All right. So we have a restriction here at 7,000. So the aircraft is going to now come level at 7,000 feet, as there is a restriction, and this is exactly as per our Navigraph charts. We're looking good here. And if you look here, so let me show you guys. So we are at 6,500 feet. We're going to have the first engine fire. So about less than 500 feet from our current altitude. So far, so good. Let's come here and select auto brake to medium. We're going to arm the speed brakes. All right, here we go. Looking good. Here is our 10 nautical mile ring. Again, created for situational awareness. And I think you can now very clearly see the DME arc there for the arrival runway 24 at Edinburgh. I think it's clearer now. Here, we can see it here. There you go. Very nice drawing from Toliss again on the display there, on the MFD and PFD. I'll add an extra seat belt. Fire trucks are waiting. Yeah. Prepare your crying, your prayers, everything. Yeah, get ready. Make us live, Q8 pilot. Our life is in your hands. We should put a door failure. Yeah. All right. So, very quickly, guys, when the engine fire takes place, the first thing we are going to do is we're going to retard the throttle. Then we're going to turn off the engine. So if it's engine 2, we're going to retard the throttle for engine 2. We're going to turn off the switch for engine number 2. Then we're going to come here to the overhead panel. We're going to pull the fire switch here, and then we're going to push the agent, discharge agent 1. If the fire doesn't go out, then we'll discharge agent 2 as well. And then we are going to move the lever of the second engine to MCT. This is going to, and one more thing, we are going to come down here and we're going to, the X bleed, we're going to turn this to shut so that we isolate the fire. Isolate the bleeds from the affected engine. That is pretty much the procedure for an engine fire. and hopefully we'll be successful in managing the engine failure at this flight. We are looking good, and everything is normal, and you can see really and appreciate the fact that the redundancy in aircraft works very, very well during a situation like this, where our hydraulics have failed on the yellow line, but the aircraft, we've recovered from this because of the available redundancy. So we have two other hydraulics that will compensate for the failure in hydraulic on the yellow hydraulic line. So again, this is testament to the reliability of aircraft, and also testament to the brilliant development team over at Toliss that has built and simulated this properly in the sim. All right, looking good. And we're just going to continue on the current heading until we arrive into Tango Lima Alpha, the transition into the DME arc. Very, very nice view here. I love those clouds there. Again, this is something that Active Sky XP adds, highly recommended add-on for Microsoft, for X-Plane. Just look at the sun again, the sunlight there, the sun glare, the cloud scattering, and the light scattering, all done very, very well. Now at this point, the passengers, of course, are unaware of the problem that we've had with our hydraulic, since it is considered a minor issue. Discord call at 100K. All right, all is looking good. There we go, that's our turn. So we're not too far now from Edinburgh. Indeed, it's a beautiful view. Thank you very much there, Paraso. How do you create your own routes for the Kalamata Concorde, since you can't select it in SimBrief? You can select it in SimBrief. Return to failure. Alright, we're gonna do range to 20 nautical miles now. I can't see any traffic, which is good. So it doesn't look like it's a busy day here at Edinburgh. And don't forget, guys, that we have a giveaway that we will be rolling in just a little bit for the second copy of the Toliss A320. Are you on Vatsim? No. My heart is pumping. Yeah, I think for pilots, when they do encounter a situation when there is an engine failure, I think they get nervous for sure. But then they are trained to act calmly and remain collected during those incidents. Yeah, they get very nervous for sure. When is the giveaway? In just a little bit. Toliss or Phoenix when it comes to physics? I would say the Toliss, to be honest. Again, not because the Phoenix guys were not able to simulate it properly, but there are a lot of limitations in Microsoft Flight Sim in terms of the flight model. Am I nervous? A little bit, yeah. All right. We are going to begin the turn shortly. And with that, I think we'll begin also the descent to 6,000 feet, which is the next restriction. There we go. We're decreasing our speed to 210 knots, I believe. Okay, that's 210 knots. Excellent. About 215, I think. Right, I'm going to switch to 10 nautical miles in terms of the range. We're all configured for the approach and landing. Very nice view there. Let's do this. Absolutely, Joshua's Gaming. Absolutely. Don't blow it, Kuwait. Land on the airport. I hope so. What is it again? Active Sky? Yes, Captain Poland. Active Sky. All right. There we go. All right, let's take a quick look here. Flight plan. So we are at 7,000 for the next 8 nautical miles. So there is a restriction there. We are at 210 knots, and then we'll begin the descent. There we go. Looking good. All right, let's do the final checks here. The landing lights are on, runway turn-off lights, nose, and fasten seatbelt signs are on. The auto brake is set to medium, and the speed brake is armed. Oh, it's looking good. Nice wing view there for your viewing pleasure. Let's see the masterpiece. Absolutely. Standard QNH is at 6,000, but I think we can actually do that. Let's see. What is the current weather here? 1014. Is that right? 1014? Yeah, 1014. Okay. So we'll set that here and here. Good stuff. You can also verify it here. We go to the condition. Pressure is showing 1015. That's about right. All right, there we go. We can see the again the TOD from our current altitude right here. And then we're about to enter the DME arc soon after we begin the descent from 7,000 for 6,000. There's another restriction. The passengers are ready for a crash landing. The passengers currently do not have a clue what's about to happen. But you guys have been briefed, so there we go. Alright, here's top of descent. 4726. We are the passengers. We have total faith in you, Captain. Alright, now you guys are really mounting the pressure on me. So, alright, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to tell you now, it ain't going to be butter. That is for sure. So let's just pray for a safe landing on the runway. What is engine fire? Why does an engine fire happen in midair? There's a lot of things that can cause engine fire. Things like maintenance, lack of maintenance. Could be like a fuel hose leak or something like that. It could be a bird strike. There's a lot of things that can cause an engine fire in midair. Let's just hope with airfield range. Yeah. All right. We are descending now to 6,000, the second restriction. We're looking good. All as per design intent, and we are actually flying. Ooh. Look at that, guys. We have an engine fire. Jeez Louise. All right. Master caution is cancelled. We're going to retard engine number 2 throttle. Right, that's done. Engine master 2 is off, which it is. And then we're going to push the button here. Engine fire, there we go. And then Agent 1 after 5 seconds. We're going to discharge Agent 1. All right, let's discharge Agent 1. Agent 1 discharged. Engine start selector to ignition. X feed is to shut. And let's take a look at the outside. Right, the engine fire has been distinguished now. And now we are operating on one engine. If you look here, the engine is completely shut down now. It says land ASAP. We have a problem with the in-op systems are hydraulics, electrical, air bleed. And we just now need to monitor. We need to move the thrust lever to MCT. So we're going to move this right here. There we go. And we are again looking okay, but we need to land. We do have, we are descending to 3,000. And we are now obviously flying with one engine. So single engine operation, again, you can see that the aircraft still is pretty much very reliable and still operating as it should with a single engine. We have dealt in time with the incident, and we are now relying, of course, on one engine. If you look here, it says landing distance procedure apply, one pack only if Y is on, Cat 3 single only, so we're not going to have auto land. These are all the in-op systems, wing anti-ice, so we have to at all cost avoid icing conditions. Cat 3 dual is not there, so there is no auto land. Engine 2 bleed is failure. AJ Ferrani, land ASAP. Where's the ICO code put us? Edinburgh. Thank you very much for your support as senior captain. And then we have Pack 2 Gen 2 and the yellow engine. This is from earlier, our hydraulics. So these are all in non-operational at this point. All right, we're coming here to 3,000 feet, as you can see, and everything else is looking good. This is the landing system turned on. I am going to go ahead and select approach. There we go. And you can see Cat 3 single. We cannot have dual due to the problem that we've had. We are at 220 knots, and we are looking good so far. Now, with the single engine operation, we want to configure the aircraft early, and I believe we should only do flaps 3 for this landing, as we have only one engine, so it is not recommended to do full flaps. Is the APU on? No, the APU isn't on, but actually, now that you say this, I think it's a good idea to turn on the APU. So let's go with the master. Normally with a dual engine, you would turn on the APU, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it anyway. So let's go ahead and start the APU. Right, there we go. Start. Excellent. All right, we have the runway in sight. We're looking good. Localizer is captured. We are on the glide slope, 2,500 feet. We're looking good. We will disconnect at 1,000. Looking good. All right. We can actually go to flaps. Oops, what did I do? Flaps 1. And let's go ahead and lower the landing gear. Now watch what happens. Look at how slow the landing gear is coming down. Right. Right, and flaps 2. We don't have any choice, so we don't want to go around at this point. All right, let's go to flaps 3. And let's disconnect the autopilot. My aircraft. Oof. And there is fire engine number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Edinburgh. All right. Let's bring the aircraft here to a complete stop. And obviously the fire is still on. And look at the engine temperature here before the aircraft blows up. Let's turn off the engine here. And obviously we're going to lose all electrical power. There we go. We have the APU running. So we'll turn the bleed here. And let's just take a quick look here. All right, let's discharge Agent 1. And let's go Agent 2. Evacuation command is on. Master switch off. Right. Both switches are off, and we're just going to call the emergency services to come and rescue the passengers and put the fire out. Obviously, we are unable to put the fire out even with after discharging both agents. So we are going to evacuate the aircraft now, and the crippled aircraft will then be towed by the ground services. As you can see, the simulation of fire, the fire itself looks really, really, really nice. And explain there, the engine, okay, is gone after discharging the second agent. So that's very cool. I'm very glad that the engine fire has finally gone away, and our crippled aircraft is now going to be towed by the ground services. And with this, ladies and gents, I think we have recovered from the, will you call this a miracle on at Edinburgh? Well, it's not exactly a miracle, losing the second engine. Now, the normal procedure is that you would retard the second throttle. And let me tell you what I have done. Since the distance to the runway was not very long, I decided not to retard the throttles because I knew that I can probably push the engines a little bit more once the fire has started. So I left the throttles where they are until after the landing, and I did not immediately retard the throttles because that would have killed all electrical power to the aircraft. So you'd lose your gens and you will not be able to control the aircraft. So I made the decision to leave the throttle on, leave the engines running, and then I retarded the throttle immediately after we've landed. And then we followed the procedure to shut down the aircraft engine. And this has allowed us to land the aircraft successfully on the runway here at Edinburgh. It would have been a completely different story if I had retarded the throttle, because I would have lost all control to the aircraft, all electrical power, all hydraulic power, but we would have seen the rat, which I'm not sure that it was deployed. I don't think that the rat is here. Maybe it's stopped now, but if you go to the aircraft, let me just show you one thing. So if we go to battery 1 and battery 2, right? And I just want to see, we don't have external power. Let me bring up the external power real quick. Mechanic, external power, and let's bring up the external power. Okay, and what I just wanted to show you is this. I'm not sure why the rat was not deployed, but if we click here and go to the outside, we should be able to see rat. There you go. You see that little fan here? That's rat. And now it doesn't move because the aircraft isn't moving. So normally this would move and supply electrical power, and normally it gets deployed. I'm not sure why it did not. Maybe it was waiting for me to retard the throttle, and once both engines, I think it's the way we've done it. So if both engines completely lose power, then RAT will be deployed. If they don't lose power, which in this case they did not lose power, not both engines, but if I had retarded the throttle, the rat would have been deployed and to supply limited electrical power to the aircraft. So it is simulated and it works exactly as it should, and you can see it right down here. Okay, so back here we can again remove the external power, turn off the batteries. I just really wanted to show you that this is actually simulated in the Toliss A320 Neo. Brilliant, brilliant aircraft. A job very well done by Toliss on this aircraft. And now, ladies and gents, it's time to do the giveaway of the second copy of the Toliss A320. So, let me go to Nightbot. And let's see who is the second lucky winner. All right. So again, the only requirement for you to be eligible for the giveaway is that you have been active in the last 5 minutes. If not, just say hello Q8 and you should become eligible to enter the giveaway. I can see a number of you guys here with me this evening. All right, we're growing to about 65 eligible users, 70. I'll just give it some time until you guys have taken, have been able to type something to become active and eligible for this giveaway. It was a fun flight. Really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you, when that second engine fire alarm came, although I was expecting it to happen because we programmed it that way, it kind of gave me a bit of it made me nervous, I have to say. So you can imagine what happens to pilots, man, in situations like this in real life. The amount of stress must be paramount. All right. We have, ladies and gents, at this point, 100 eligible users for the giveaway. So we are going to go ahead and roll it. Let's see here. We are rolling in 3, 2, 1, and roll it. And the winner is OPX Hazmza. Hazmza. OPX Hazmza is the winner of the second copy. I know that you've been very active with us this evening, OPX. So congratulations. I hope you are still here with us in chat. Yay, you are here. Congratulations, sir. On winning a copy of the A320neo. For the two winners today, Goal and OPX Hazmza, all you need to do is send an email to info@q8pilot.com with the email associated with your Explain.org account and a screenshot of your YouTube profile page while you are logged in to your account. If you already have the Toliss A320neo, please indicate which other aircraft from Toliss you would like to have. Well, that is it for this live stream, ladies and gents. I want to thank you all in chat today for keeping my company and making my time here worthwhile. It was a fun flight filled with adventure, and so I'm very glad that we are finally safe here at Edinburgh in the United Kingdom. I will see you guys again on Saturday with another massive giveaway here on the Q8 Pilot channel. But until then, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and good night.